Well, hi guys, hopefully this finds you very well. My name's Paul, this is Plan Z, and today we're going to be looking at GT1000 V4 Sheriff 2 notes cab M. And we're going to start out in this view so we can see the settings in GT1000, and then a little later on we're going to back the camera off so you can see a bit more of the bigger picture. Now what I want you to see is that we've got some different patches here. We're in the Plexi, so I'm just going to bring up my gain pot a little bit. Just want to keep the volume low for a moment. We've got 3 Plexi patches. You can split this one into stereo and manipulate it going left and right. Just going to change the view on the screen for a moment so you can see what's happening there. You can see there this divide is jumping between those two. Or we do this. I covered these templates in another video, okay? If I remember, I'll link it below. We've got a high gain version of that as well. Just want to save that like that actually. Now what we are going to be doing is diving into a couple of different patches. Now, I'm going to come back to this patch in a moment. It's just a simple A-B where I'm just switching between the 2 amps in the divide, and here I've got the synth set up, but the synth isn't in there today. I've taken the synth out and I've put the V4 Sheriff in, and to do that I've had to change my template slightly. So I've come over to here. Now if you've been following, you might remember that I set up a template the other day that I'm still tweaking, dialing in the tone, but I set it up so the function was I had a medium and a high gain rectifier there and a JC120 here with a synth there. But in this patch today we've gone mono in here for the send return. Let me just go into the patch now. So here I've got my send return running in mono, so the second part to it is disengaged. I've got the levels at 100, so I haven't changed anything there, and it's going straight out to the V4 Sheriff and coming back in, and then it hits an EQ, comes out of my divide. So let's just engage that divide for a moment. It comes out, hits a noise gate, and then it hits another EQ, and what's going on is this EQ is dealing with a bit of 315 Hertz, only a slight cut, but a slightly deeper cut of 500. That's all that's out of there. And then this EQ is just dealing with take a bit of bottom out, push a bit of tops, push the overall level by 3, and then I'm taking out a bit of 4K, and I'm taking out a bit of 5K, low cut 100, high cut at 8. So let's engage the Sheriff and just bring up my gain. So I've got the gain pot on about 8 on the neck. Now currently on the other side, if we engage the other side, I've got 3 options, and we're going to change it so that we've got a different option in a minute. So this is a medium gain boutique amp. Bass more on that, do you think? I think so. To match that, I want that bass up a little bit more. So what's happening is I'm going to go into the assigns now, and for that amp, what's happening, let me come all the way down here so it's easier. We've got amp 1, the gain is changing from middle to high gain, but I've got them dialed in so they sound more or less the same. And then what you'll find here is I've got the amp level, then I've got the presence, treble, high cut, sorry, that's something else, the mids, the bass and the sag all in here. At the bottom there I've got the gain. Now what I might do is change that from being, I'm going to change this assign here in a minute and change the amp type so that we've got 4 amps in the one patch. But let's just change that bottom end for a minute, because to me straight away coming in with a fresh set of ears that wanted a bit more bottom in it. Okay, so that's the Sheriff, and this is the boutique. So let's look at these settings now. So I've got the gain at 64. Do I want that higher? let's have that gain at 70. So I'm just going to adjust that gain now. So I go back into my sign. I'll go to where I've got my gain, which is that top one. Let's go in. Let's just click that to 70. So we've got the gain on 70 for the medium gain, and the high gain, I've got the gain on 40. So let's go to, what happens is you'll see this change from medium to high. Should sound more or less the same. I've dialed them in so they would sound the same more or less. The high gain could do with a bit more lows, but what we've got going on there, so that's a 2-channel amp there. The Sheriff here, which is also a 2-channel amp. Let's go to that. Let's engage the high gain. Back on the medium gain. Go into my boutique. Now on the Sheriff, I've got the bass pulled back just a touch. I've pushed the mids a little bit, and I've pushed the highs just a touch. And you'll see here when we look at the settings of the boutique amp, I've done more or less the same, but the bass, we can keep the bass a bit higher than we can on the V4 Sheriff. The mids are about the same, 56. The treble, I've been able to just do about the same with the treble, and I've got the presence up on 90 and the bright switch on. The gain 70. I've got the sag at +3. I found to be a nice place. Hang on. They don't sound exactly the same, but I could easily use this if my V4 had a busted valve, for example. Now let's look at what I've done. Sorry, before we move on, let's just change that to the high gain so you can see what changes. So watch the gain will drop. The gain dropped. The level remained the same. So it's only the gain that changes. And here, what I'm going to do is maybe... No, I'm going to leave that at 50. Yeah, but the treble is just one less there when I go to the high gain. Okay, so now let's change to the divide so that we go into the second amp. And what I've put here is a Plexi. We've got it in a medium gain, and I've just done what I would do if I picked up a Plexi. I'd just bang everything on 7 for starters. I've got the presence on 40, the gain on 70, the sag maxed, resonance 5, the level on 43, but the bass, middle and trebs are all on 70, right? Okay, so now let's have a little bit of fun and see if we can't change. Let's make a decision now. So we've got this medium gain. Let's go back pickup. That's the Sheriff. Let's go to the medium gain. Okay, so I'm going to keep the medium gain. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the high gain. Let's do something that would use an EL34 cabinet. So I'm going to choose a Bogner, I think. Let's go. So we want to go preamp 1, and rather than changing the gain, so I click on it, and here I've got options, and at the front I've got type. So let's change the type. So we're going to keep this one as the boutique, but this one will make Bogner. Well, let's just check. Okay, so this should change to Bogner. And what we're going to do is keep it in medium gain. I'm going to try dialing the Bogner in with sag and stuff, so not like a heavy metal amp. I've got that dialed in elsewhere like that. I'm going to try doing this and matching like a more vintage tone. So let's just check that it changes the amp type. Great, so we've gone to Bogner. Let's just see if we keep those settings, what actually happens there. I can't imagine this is going to work, but let's see. I just want to get a starting point before I start messing around too much, so I'm just going to go, I'm going to change the level to 50, 43, 70, 80, 50. Okay, so let's go into our signs again, and we're going to go, let's bring this down to 70 for a minute, maybe even 60. Let's keep our trebles, let's keep them the same, but let's get this middles boosted to 70. Oh shit, I've done it on the wrong side. Hang on. It's this side. Let's go 70 there. Get that to 56. That presence was on 90, wasn't it? Okay. Now the bass. Let's drop this bass a bit to, let's start at 45. And with the sag, yeah, let's change the sag. Let's just boost this sag a little bit. So I'm going to go from 3. I'm just going to bring the gain down. No, I'm actually going to leave that there for a moment. Okay, so that's high gain Sheriff. I think we can bring this down a little bit, so let's just go into our settings again. Let's try bringing this level down to 50 to start with. So I've just taken that to 70. And just to see what the impact is, I'm going to change the cabinet now from the Browny EL34. I'm going to go down to a Bogner EL34, 412 in stereo. So let's just get that on. I feel like that volume actually can be up at 60. This is the Sheriff, not the Sheriff, this is the Plexi. Let's go back to... Okay, so there I got the Plexi. Here we got the Boutique. And there we've got the Bogner. And here is the Sheriff in high gain. So that's 4 amps in the one patch, just using 2 devices. That's crazy. Let's carry on listening to figuring out what's going on. So on the GT1000 amps, the first EQ is dealing with that 315 Hz that we did earlier on the V4 Sheriff, but it's taking a much deeper slice to double, actually, to the tune of -6. And here I've boosted 630 hertz by 3 dB. Crazy. I'm going to leave that boost off, so I've taken off that 630 hertz and I'm just leaving that EQ like that, so it's just taking the 315 cut. And then here I've got a graphic EQ where I'm taking a bit of 250, cut 6 500, and then I'm just pushing 2K and 8K to kind of bring a bit of cut through. So that there is the major difference between the two, I would say, EQs over here. And then obviously it goes through to this one. And then what happens here is it hits another divide. Now let's continue this conversation about divides. I use my GT1000 as a divide. I send my dry signal out to my main outs where I've got the mic level turned off completely, but I've got the direct mix coming through. Yeah. So we're running at line out, I think, if I remember right, on the output. We'll have a look at that in a minute if you want. I wish you could let me know live in a session, actually. I can't wait to... You know what? I woke up this morning, got 460 something subscribers. Thank you very much, by the way. Having a little sidetrack. Hadn't expected that to happen. I was just really kind of sound checking and, you know, just doing things. But, you know, I understand I can go live when I hit 1,000 subs on YouTube. Can't wait to be able to go live. And these amps will all be sorted by then. So, here, we're going out to 2 notes there. But when I engage this, I've got a wet channel. Now, what have I done? Okay, we've got a bit of delay going into a shimmer reverb, going into a tremolo, going into a compressor. Okay? Pull back the feedback on the delay, oh sorry, the reverb. You might be going, Paul, what the hell are you doing? How are you going to use that? Well look, let's now we've got this patch. Let's just save what we did there. And let's have a little look at how long's this video? 18 minutes. Do you reckon in 10 minutes we can... Yeah, let's make a copy of this patch. Actually, no, I'm going to do it in a different video. I'll do a separate video where I'm going to copy this patch and turn it into a left-right stereo patch so we can use the 2 patches and have 4 different amps and 1 mono rig, 1 stereo rig. But for the moment, let's have a little look at what that might be like if we were to do that. I'm going to pull the camera up. Now, if the audio goes funny at this point, I'm going to say goodbye. There's a funny connection on my phone. I managed to drop my phone, and the connection's not brilliant. But let's see if we can't get a bit more of the picture in here. Just going to put that there and then hopefully zoom out. Okay, so the HXeffects is actually sitting slightly out of view at the moment. Let me just see if I can't. That gets it out of the way of the guitar neck for me. Yeah, I think you can still see the GT1000 there. I can't see the screen at the moment, so hopefully that worked out well. We'll see. So what's going on is we've got, in the send return of the GT1000, we've got the Sheriff. And when this goes green, we're on that. Let's go to high gain. We can add our delay. Now we're on the GT Boutique. Bogner. Plexi. So what we're going to do is go back to our boutique amp, just pull our gain pop back a bit. Let's start a little jam where we're going to use this. We're actually in a bank of Plexis at the moment, so I think I might have covered that at the beginning. Let's just go back to this patch, add in a bit of verbs. Take a loop. Okay, so now the important thing is how does this sit in the mix. So let's take that verb off. I want to go back to that beast. That was nice when we had that on 95. So I've got all my cabinets set up now. I've finished dialing in my 2 notes. I'm going to do a settings video on that over the next week or so. So this is the boutique. That's the sheriff. Boutique. Now let's go to a stereo patch where we can put in a Plexi. Gonna go to the back pickup. Pushed as hard, go to this side, stick on a bit of reverb. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my main Plexi patch. Nice, that's working out well. What I want to do before we go away, let's just close that down. Let's go into here. Now I'm going to try bringing the camera back down so you can see this in a moment. But let's use our ears to start with, because we might lose the audio if I haven't lost the audio already. So here I've got a Plexi dialed in slightly differently with a plate reverb on it. Now when I add my delay, it adds 2 lots of delays. One left, a reverse delay going into a fuzz, and one right going into a harmonizer and then a simple delay. Now let's just hear what that sounds like on its own, so I've not got that set up as an assign just yet. Now if you've got headphones on, what you should be hearing is an octave down on the right and a reverse fuzz on the left. They're both going into a chorus and then just the plate reverb, okay? So let's go back to the divide here. Let's just engage that as a wet. That's cool, right? So let's, I'm going to try bringing that down so you can have a little looky. Let's go to there. Try pulling that out. Yeah, so what's going on is when we come into the divide, we're just splitting the signal into dual, but then sending it left right here, and we've got the two different signals. But let's just make that center. Let's center it. Okay, so that's what that one looks like. Let me just come out there, and we're going to go back into this one where I'm just going to show you a little thing I've done to color my delay. So I'm going to come in here. We've got a delay on. Now on an assign, hang on, you can hear the reverb and trem coming up the middle in stereo, but left and right you've got a dual delay going on. Very short. Let's stick on a picking filter. Let's turn the picking filter off. Put the picking filter on. Well, it's not a picking filter, it's actually an auto wire. So it's nice being able to add that colour. Right, I'm going to end that session there. Waffled on way long enough, it's almost half an hour, but showing you a few ideas and hopefully showing you that using two notes, I can have 4 amps in here. Remember, we got 4 amps. The Sheriff, let's turn those verbs off. So the Sheriff, a Boutique, a Bogner, and a Plexi. Cool. Catch you later.